I have a leaf on me. The part of maybe it's a. Yeah. Me and Bill Clinton. Yeah, it started like 2 to 3 minutes ago. Really? Wait. Hold on. Sorry. I did screw it up.
He's listening to audio on this, so he hears us just like
can you hear now?
That's true.
Talk.
Talk.
He says yes. He might be on the show as well.
Check. Hold on.
Someone's saying yo.
No sound still?
No,
still no sound?
No, still no sound.
Hold on. This is a very professional radio broadcast.
Absolutely. You are just...
They can't hear us.
I fixed it.
Did you fix it?
Yeah.
I can hear. Yeah, I can hear Joe on the thing now.
It was the settings I changed to try to use the new software, and then we gave up on the new software.
It sucks balls.
All right.
All right.
Apparently.
So, speaking of balls, we got my boss on the show tonight. He's going to be on a little bit later. So, the one and only, my boss, and that brings us into the show topic tonight. So,
No,
Over
I
the course-
really want to know how you can relate him to balls.
That's the ongoing joke, I guess.
How can you
I need
not?
that explanation.
When you meet him for the very first time today, Chris, the very first time, remember that,
I'm just gonna think testicles.
you're going to be like, man, that's all I can think of.
Okay, all right. I'm challenge accepted.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
hairy testicles for sure.
Challenge accepted.
We don't have to keep going with this, Joe. We can just, like, I was trying to segue from it, but you
So we got your.
Okay, you know what?
we
Let's
have
go
your-
back to what we were just talking about it when we were muted.
yeah,
It's about Chris's heels. He gets new pair of heels when he starts eating bread or something.
I don't know.
Because I never heard of heels
Joe's
on bread.
a
Can we-
Canadian that doesn't know
Can-
anything about real world anything.
No,
Can
that's just
listen,
pop culture,
Dude,
right?
the heel is the end cap of the bread. You have two ends of a bread, right? And you have crust all the way around the bread, and they slice it into a bunch of pieces. The heel is the piece that has the crust on the outside. So yeah, I'm lucky when my wife made me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with two heels.
Why not just say the end caps or the end pieces?
Because nobody
end
understands
slices?
end caps. Because
Absolutely.
everybody understands what a heel is, you dumbass.
No.
I don't know what it was.
Okay, you know what? Let's ask chat.
All right,
Chat, have you heard of heel?
The heel
Or
of
crust.
the bread. Well, crust, everybody knows crust.
Okay, you're right. It's the end cap. You're right.
It's not the end cap, it's the heel. I had to explain it so that way Joe would understand the end cap.
Okay. Hey, Adam or Bill, did you
Yeah.
ever hear about the end cap
The
So
or heel? Sorry.
no.
Are we talking like is this something like shark bite would make so I can put over my bread? Like a
It
end
sounds
cap?
like it. Or a duck
Like a-
work. You're
like a shark
putting
bite,
an
like
end cap.
a
What,
90
what,
on the
what we
end?
should be talking about is how we have Bill's boss on tonight.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to talk about.
And
All right.
we also have an awesome giveaway
Yep.
later on this evening. Another S-Man 380V, thanks to
Yes.
Mr.
I'm gonna
Ted
go
Cook.
with. Sorry, I'm gonna go with half and half in the chat. Okay. No, maybe more. Yes.
So real quick before we get segued into something else that doesn't make sense, but by the way, let's get to, if you guys all seen my thumbnail there, does your boss suck? We've all had sucky bosses, I'm sure. So I try not to be a sucky boss, and my boss also tries not to be a sucky boss. So tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about sucky bosses, leadership, and stuff like that. Because over the path of my career, I guess I've been trying to become a better leader. And this this boss that I have here, he's helping me quite a bit. And we had a couple good conversations this week about leadership that kind of spurred this subject. And I know on the show we've talked about it a little bit here and there. And I think it's really a subject that doesn't get talked about as much as it should in the HVAC industry. So with all that, Joe, take it away with your balls and heels and whatnot.
No, I never heard of that. It's you learn something new every day. I thought Chris was saying she provided him with some heels for his breakfast or his lunch. So
No,
now
but
I know it's the
it is like my ultimate favorite sandwich. Like, first off, peanut butter and jelly is not good for you. And the heels of the bread really isn't good for you either because it's all sugar. The crust, that's where all the sugar goes. My understanding is I could be completely wrong here, but the reason why it turns brown is because all the sugar pulls to the ends.
makes sense.
But my favorite sandwich right there, like ultimate, is a peanut butter and jelly with the two heels or the ends. That's like the best.
Gotcha. No, I'm a fan of them as well. Let's see what Ted said. I hope none of my guys are watching this tonight.
Oh, I'm sure all of Ted's employees think he's great.
Yep.
I think Ted's a pretty cool guy. Once you get to know him and you get past that grumpy old man yelling at you to get off his lawn, he's not too terrible. He's not going to put a lit cigarette out on your arm, but he'll kind of bust you up a bit in a good way.
Ted's got some good stories, though. You ever corner Ted and have him start telling some stories about when he was a kid or a teenager? They're pretty cool stories. So
I imagine.
He's got a lot of good HVAC stories as well.
yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was around when Willis Carrier invented it, so
That is true.
So how was your guys' week this week?
It was all right. I
It's
guess.
all right.
Can't complain. Yeah.
Mine was just a kind of a hectic one. Monday started out crappy because I couldn't do my stream and it was just a pain in the ass. That just threw me off. And then the week was okay. It wasn't too crazy, just lots of work. So
That was an epic stream, bud. Epic.
yeah, but
Yeah,
in
it was.
my head it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't what I was planned. I was set up and ready to stream and I was sitting in my office and then I got a call and it was a walk.
Why don't we talk about what happened after you stopped streaming?
Yeah.
After I stopped streaming? Oh, so for those that watch the stream, so I went to a compressor that I had just replaced, or that didn't watch the stream. I went to a compressor that was just replaced. It was off on thermal overload. I started the live stream. I found a broken capillary. That all happened live. And then when I was all finished, I ended the stream. It was running. I was putting the unit back together, and I changed the compressor contactor too, just to be precautionary. And I was putting it all back together, and I broke the capillary tube for the high pressure control. And I just sat there and watched all the refrigerant flow out of the system after I was done.
You told us you ran down as fast as you can to your truck to try to get the reclaimer and jug.
Yeah, I went down to my van as fast as I could, but I couldn't get back in time with the recovery machine and the
just pinched it off real quick.
Oh, you know what? I should have done that. That would have been really smart. But have you ever tried to pinch a capillary tube? It actually doesn't pinch very easily.
No,
but no, you know what? Next time, Bill, I've got escaping refrigerant. I'm gonna call Bill because you know what? Now that I think about it,
for tech support.
Bill probably had the answer right.
Well, did you try pinching it off yet?
Yeah.
Where's the recovery machine at?
So I ended up having to put a dual pressure control on, take the low pressure control off, and then put a dual pressure on, vacuum it down again, recharge it, and cross our fingers. It's been running for a week. So.
Oh man.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, real quick, big shout out to HVAC Survival for my nice new shirt here. I had to put the. Oh yeah, he's got one too, huh? See, Rick hooked us up with some.
Joe doesn't have one.
Free swag. Yeah,
I'm still waiting for the address.
I don't have one. I'm told that mine should be here today. It's probably in my mailbox, but I didn't have my mailbox. So
Rick, you'll never get Joe's address. So
yeah, nobody has it.
Nobody has it. Nobody has it.
Got the. I'll give you my American one,
if that's even his real name. Joe Schwabe.
Yep.
A cat too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, but yeah, it was a hectic week, and yeah, just another one. How about you, Adam?
I don't know if I should talk about this. I kind of want to. Should we talk about it,
Johnny
Joe?
Wang?
Huh?
Jimmy Wang, Johnny Wang. What's his name? Did you fire him?
My customer? No.
Oh no! Your customer. That story.
Yeah.
She ended up being a dude, huh, Adam?
Yeah.
That was the problem. She ended up being a dude. See, I told you. I told you, dude. Me and Bill were chatting back and forth. We were texting. We were like, that chick is totally.
And we both agree. Like, you got to check the swimsuit parts before you do anything.
So you ready? I'm gonna briefly go over the history that I've had with this customer very quickly.
Oh, explain that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this customer hired a general contractor, a very high end general contractor that I work for. He bought this house. It was foreclosed on. They wanted me to go over the boiler and everything. I did that, did the maintenance on the boiler. Prior to doing the maintenance on the boiler, I think the reason why they called, they turned on the water to the house. They had a cast iron radiator that was split, flooding the second floor down. Pipes in the wall were split, so they called me over. I did the maintenance on the boiler, fixed the pipes, was quoting to install a new cast iron radiator, okay? As per the customer, he had radiators sitting in the garage, like 80-plus-year-old radiators, right?
Here it comes.
So he denied me to install a new cast iron radiator. He really wanted me to install a used cast iron radiator, okay? So what I did was I put caps on the ends of the radiator, and I pressurized the radiator with air, with an air compressor or nitrogen. I don't remember how I did it. Anyway, let it hold for 45 minutes. The pressure held. I was happy with that, right? So we lugged this freaking monstrous thing up to the second floor. We pipe it in. We pressurize it. Everything's good with water. A couple weeks go by. They start using the heat, and the cleaning lady noticed every few minutes there's one drop that comes off. There was a little fissure crack, and it only starts leaking when the water heated up because it was splitting the radiator, right? So I didn't say I told you so, but I was really, really irritated with the situation. And he didn't want to put a new one in the second time. There was another one in the garage. So this time what I did was I brought over a kiddie pool, filled it up with water, pressurized it, and dunked it in the pool and let it sit in the pool. Okay? Yeah. This one held. We installed it. That was all good. He also, his boiler, he has one of those Jerland. Is that how you say that, Joe? Jerland?
Yeah, something like that.
It's like a weird TJERLUND. I never know how to spell it. I just kind of, whatever. Tango, Echo, Bravo. But he had an inducer on his boiler that was bad. Ordered it. replaced it. His boiler, also he had an issue with his boiler. What else was there? There was all kinds of stuff. He had spider webs in the orifices of the boiler. Okay, clean those out. He had a bad pressure reducing valve. Replaced the pressure reducing valve. Did all kinds of work for him. When Justin was working for me, he went to do maintenance on this guy's rental unit, a condo. The humidifier wasn't working. Justin sold him a new humidifier. We installed a new humidifier. Everything's great, grand, happy, blah, blah, blah. Now, what, I'm trying to think the time frame. Anyway, he calls in this year. The air conditioning is not working at the rental unit. I'm busy as heck. Like, we're booked out for weeks. He's like, you really got to get over there. So I go over there. The variable speed module on the blower is bad. So I have to go. It was like a big rigmarole. Drive freaking an hour to go get it. They didn't have it. Went on with my day. Went back to pick it up later and installed it at like 4:30. I asked the customer, because I'm in the install truck, my box truck. I don't have a big ladder on that truck. I'm like, was the air conditioning working prior to the motor going out? Yeah, the air conditioner is working fine. So install the module. I hear the condenser kick on, which is on the roof. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. It's 4:30. I have other stuff I still have to do. I leave. He calls back a week later, and he's like, the air conditioning is not working. So now I bring out the ladder. You got to climb up 3 flights of stairs and then set up a ladder on top of the balcony to go out on top of the roof. It's a freaking hassle. And he was a little bit low on charge. So I added R410. I charged him the second time, I think about $150 or something like that. With
No service fee.
No service fee. That's labor and refrigerant, right? So that was that. He complained about that. He's like, why did you charge me twice? And it's like, well, because you had 2 different issues that was going on. But anyway, then he asked for a 2-zone mini split to be installed in his house. He asked a couple times to have it, to get an estimate. We went over there. I gave him a quote. He got the quote. We included financing and everything in it. He sent me a text message and he was like, you are out of your mind. I'm going to go online and post a shit ton all about your company on every freaking site I could find.
And this is just for a high quote. He's raging.
This is for a high quote. And then, not only that, did he post...
I know.
He didn't only post about the high estimate, that he was pissed because, like, usually if you're pissed about, like, if you get a high quote and you're not happy with it, you just call somebody else, right? No.
That's what normal people do.
So he posted, he's like, these guys suck. They install a leaky radiator in my house. That's the first thing he said. I'm like, this SOB. He like made us install this freaking crappy radiator.
Yeah, you can go on there and like put that in there, like contest it a little bit.
Yeah, but like
you don't want to encourage it, And
so like I went through the whole thing with him, and I kind of argued back and forth with text message to him, and I told him at the end, I'm like, I'm gonna refund your service call, and you take that money and put that towards your mini split with another company. And I said, please stop texting me. And I did that, and then he edited his freaking his review, and he said, then the owner gives me back my money, blah blah blah. And he's like, then a week later, the air conditioning at my condo stops working again. I'm like, this guy's a freaking jackass. My blood was boiling, but like, so I don't want to respond because I feel like anything I'm going to say, he's just going to go back on there and.
It sounds like he's got a ton of free time to just do dumb shit like that, and he's not going to
retired dude that.
Yeah,
he's actually a gynecologist.
Yeah, that's why you don't fight guys who they take their shirt off right away because they got nothing to lose. You never fight a guy like that.
True.
That's kind of what you're going up against,
So, I have thought about, if someone in the chat said give us his information, I have genuinely thought about
unleashing
viewers sometimes. Some people that have pissed me off, and it's like, man, I should totally
when Gandalf comes over that mountain ridge in Lord of the Rings and he's got that whole army behind him.
Yeah. Yes, Opie and Anthony, there was a radio show, Opie and Anthony, and they used to have their viewers and they called them their pests. And they would, whenever something would happen, they would unleash their pests. They would just say it on the radio, like, hey guys, go mess with this person, and then thousands and thousands of people would start messing with someone. I've always thought that'd be pretty fun.
I kept on going, like, as I was driving, when you think about something and there's nothing else going on, so like you're driving around with your day, running calls, doing whatever, you're just like, I'm kind of like sulking on the whole thing, and I'm just like boiling. So I'm thinking, I'm like,
Oh, no kidding.
should I call this guy? And then I'm like, should I go to his house and talk to him like man to man?
Yeah.
But he has a camera at his front door, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna end up like on YouTube, and it's gonna be like
Yeah.
he's gonna post a video on my
He's
freaking.
gonna edit it and like change the context and everything else. You
Yeah.
know.
But yeah, so that
I
was
had
my
some
week.
fun stuff going this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, YouTube brought you together with somebody, right?
Yeah, YouTube swiped left on me and a special person. me and a Mr. John McMasters. I don't know if he's watching tonight, but I got to meet Mr. John McMasters in real
Good guy.
life.
Very
real,
knowledgeable.
real genuine guy, man. Real good conversation I had with that guy. But no, through the powers of YouTube, obviously, he's seen some of my videos, seen what I'm curious about, and he hooked me up with a 7.5 ton ginormous semi-hermetic Copeland compressor that I actually tore it down today and made a little video about it. So
That's pretty cool. At least he didn't invite you to a cult. So,
yeah,
yeah.
no yellow deli, nothing like that.
Oh,
No,
no yellow
Did you hold on? Did you guys see Rick's stream when I mentioned because they said, hey, you shaved your head too?
I saw the tail end of that. I didn't see the whole
Oh,
thing.
I joined Chris's
yeah.
cult. What's it? And they're like, what's the name of Chris's cult? I'm
White
like, it's
Deli?
something deli. I'm like, White Deli, and they're like,
White
that's
Deli.
racist. I'm like, oh, I did shave my head too. That's really bad. I'm like, it's not White Deli. I can't remember the name of
White
it.
Deli.
Oh my god, this world. Anyways,
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
man. All right.
you want to
sure.
we want to introduce
Let's do it.
our guest.
Do it.
So everybody, let's welcome my boss, Mr. John Kearns. Now, just to warn you guys, he is from Chattanooga, so when I hear him talk, all I hear is a lot of ding dang doos. You might not understand him, so just listen real slow. He's a smart guy, but that accent might fool you a little bit. Smart guy. So let's bring him out.
What's
Let's
his
see what
name
he's got
again?
to talk about. What happened
He's
now?
from Chattanooga.
What's his name
but
again? Your boss?
John Kearns.
The best comment was from Joe Shearer, actually. Joe,
What
that
the?
was that was a
Yeah.
good thing though, but why did you record that?
I play that randomly.
That fits in there perfectly.
That's funny.
That comment was from Joe Shearer.
So yeah.
Your
Bill-
green room sucks.
We got no.
I've been
no
waiting all
M&Ms.
day. I think Adam's actually in the green room, and I got stuck in this shitty office.
Yeah.
We got
They give you like M&Ms and stuff in there?
No, man, I was
No.
looking for the brown M&Ms everywhere. There's not a single damn
we got,
one.
we got
Did they give you any heels? Any heels of
You know,
any sort?
It's funny. I don't speak a lot of Canadian, but I do understand what the heel is.
Damn.
See, I've heard of it, but I'm like, I don't really
However,
know what that
most
is.
people cut the crust off their sandwich. He goes straight for nothing but crusty sandwiches.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Great.
volumes of a character.
Yeah,
That
good
does.
point.
That's true. My kids just throw that in the garbage. They open the bread and throw it right in the garbage.
So did mine. Mine do the same thing.
Food, man.
It's
Yeah.
pure sugar.
Oh yeah, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Yeah. So what's up, John? How you been?
I was taking some notes while you boys was sitting there chatting.
How you
Man.
been since an hour and a half ago when we last talked?
You danced around a really interesting subject. You've been talking about bosses all night. Adam's been talking about customers all night, but you sometimes forget that customers are bosses and we're bosses of customers, and he's right to fire that asshole.
Nice.
Yeah, what a
Yeah.
dick.
I mean,
yeah,
there is so much crap as one of the guys in charge that puts up with. You're right. You do everything you can do right by a customer, and yet they're going to find that one thing to complain. And the higher up the food chain you go with that customer, the more money they have, the less they want to pay.
That is true.
It is actually one of those anomalies. You're like, you know how the rich stay rich? Because they're trying to get out of paying me every day. And they'll pay lawyers thousands of dollars to not pay me $20.
True.
You can
Get that.
damn sure bet they're not buying American-made products, so
Yeah.
it costs more.
Talking about a mini split. What is that? Fujitsu? Mitsubishi?
I don't know. I don't even know what we quoted, to be honest. It was either Fujitsu or Daikin.
It's all made by only like 2 companies anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both out of Mexico.
it's interesting too because I stress so much in my business and I worry so much and I hold the customers to such high regard and I make sure that the customers have the best opinion of me. And it ruins my nights when one of my employees screws something up or whatever, you know. But it's so funny that I try so hard, but then a customer will fire you like that.
So we had a great conversation about customers firing you. At the end of the day, we all know there's a lot of people in our trade that are there to make a quick dollar and leave. That's what they want to do. They want to make some big money. About 10 years, sell their company, they're gone with life, right? Yep. However, there's the elitist group out there that want to keep their customers and continue to pass the baton. And it's hard because we want to do that with the best we can to the best we can. And a lot of people forget that 85% of what you're selling is customer service. It's an experience you don't get anywhere else. Any asshole can turn a wrench. You can teach a lot of guys to grab a suction line and say, beer can cold. I mean, but you can't teach a lot of guys how to make a customer be appreciative of the service you perform. And really, the higher your expectations are, you're setting the higher expectations for them. I mean, you set their level of expectations in their bar. When you walk in your clean uniform, knowing that you've worked all day, and you explain to them what you've been doing, why you did it, how you did it in terms they understand, you set their bar and you ruin it for every company below you. And that's really what we should be doing every day.
Now, is it fair to say, though, that you potentially ruin it for your own employees, too?
Well, once again, you should set the level of expectation with your employees as well. Like, I want, at the end of the day, Bill to understand that when he's turning a wrench, he should be turning that wrench of the level of expectation that I deem as the bar. If you're coming in under the bar, I'm not going to scream and hoop and holler at you, but I am going to explain to you, hey, you're missing this.
That's unacceptable.
Doesn't have your Delta T on it. You don't have your pressures in and out because you hooked your gauges up. Where's my temperature log? What did you actually do? Repaired compressor does not tell me anything about what you did. Why did you repair it? How did you come to that conclusion? You're a curious guy, and yet you give me repaired compressor.
Yeah, by the way, he's not talking about me.
I think he is. I think he might be.
I think you said your name like 6 times, dude.
I like to read them.
Sean,
available after the show online.
John, before we go on, just clarify, because someone asked in the chat, and I asked the same thing. So, what do you're Bill's boss, but you're all the way in Chattanooga. So, how does this work? What's going on here?
He sends me letters and tells me what to do.
I use teletype, mostly Morse code. I like to use Morse code. Now, the way it works is, regardless of position where I'm at, most of what we do, of course, is taking calls in, pushing calls out, correct? Customer calls, we answer the phone, we send a tech with parts in a timely manner. It doesn't really matter where I sit to do that, right? So our company is based out of Pelham, Alabama. However, we have satellite offices that stretch all the way. Well,
now, real quick, John, let me interrupt you real quick. Just so people don't start thinking you're just a dispatcher. You were a field tech for how many years again?
14. I was in the field for 14 years.
And then you moved up through the ranks to senior tech, lead tech, regional service manager, and then now you're in the RSM role right now.
That's correct. So all the people in our company, whether they're the head of operations or below, has spent time in the field. We believe you cannot run a company of this degree and this size without in-depth knowledge. So to answer that question, yes, I run it from Chattanooga, but I take all those phone calls that come in here. I answer all those emails that come through. I speak directly with facilities directors out that way, and I communicate with the techs. And the way this works, of course, brings you into the whole boss scenario. Good communications. Establish how good you can do your job. How well we perform should speak volumes that I can perform that task 452 miles away and still get all the customer satisfaction and still grow the business, even though my boots aren't on the ground. Realistically, that's why I use Bill, right? The communication and the chain of command. I tell Bill, this is my vision. This is what I see. This is what I want to do. This is how we're going to grow it. And then Bill takes that idea and he spreads the seeds out amongst his techs. So really, I'm only delegating to 1 or 2 techs. They can delegate to the other 20. We plant those seeds and then we manage what we can manage. Say
What do you
again?
think Bill's strong point is?
My beard.
The 476 questions I get a day.
Yeah,
I mean, but that's going to be an honest answer.
that is a good one because
There is no such thing. You should be able to tell your boss no. You should not, however, be able to tell your boss no and that be the end of the subject. If you're going to decline doing something that I ask you to do, you are allowed to rebuttal. You can rebuke me, but I expect you to come at me with enough of a rebuttal to give me information so I know why. Because once again, my boots aren't on that ground. You see everything there. I remember
Mhm.
standing in front of a customer. I didn't stand in front of that customer. So at the end of the day, like, you can say no, but don't just put your foot down and be like, nah, I'm not doing that.
not doing that. Yeah, you gotta have a reason why. So why are you not doing it?
You don't get to just say no. It's okay to say no, but it's not okay to say no and stop. There's always a proper process to discuss, and everything should be a discussion. It shouldn't be one-sided. I don't just tell Bill what he's going to do. Bill's allowed to say, I can't go do that. Why, Bill? It's 5:15. It's a dinner rush, and they're not going to want me dismantling the 6-drawer cooler underneath the grill.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Stuff
Because
like
if I
that
go out
makes
there and
sense.
tell the customer, hey, you called, I came, he's going to say, you came at 5:15. Are you stupid?
Yeah,
Like, do you know what we do around here?
Yeah.
And then he's going to say, are you charging me a mandatory hour plus the travel to come out here and tell me how stupid you are?
like, oh, this is a
No.
restaurant. I thought you guys sold friendship bracelets. I'll be on my way.
Come on, man. I thought I was calling the Thai Beanie Baby Corp.
I'll be on my way. Yeah.
So let
So,
me- oh, go ahead, Bill.
oh, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say, John, so how with your technicians, this is probably a loaded question, but how do you start to build that communication that they have with you?
All right. That's a good
I've always struggled with previous employees. Let me preface that by saying with previous employees, with building that communication and getting them to understand what it is that I want, and also being able to think on their feet, because I don't want lemmings. I don't want people that just listen to me and do what I say. I want people to go out there and be able to call me and say, hey, this is what's wrong. I don't want to tell them what to do.
The first thing that I always try to establish with technicians before I even hire them is a rapport. I want to understand that you know that you're a person and that I'm a person. At the end of the day, we're just people, right? Like, and we have to remember that each other's a person and not a tool. There is a time and a place to remember a person as a tool and a person as a person, right? Otherwise, we'd work them 17 hours a day and they would die on the ground.
Yeah.
So I always start off my process after I get your cards and look at all your paperwork and you tell me what you did do. I don't really care. That paperwork can say a million things and it's all going to look great.
Right.
I'd rather have a great open conversation about what you have and haven't seen and what you did and didn't do. But once you get established or even take over old personnel into a new job, I always start by opening my lines of communication. Here's about me. This is what I've done. This is who I am. This is my expectations. I have learned to open up my expectations. And in some cases, especially in our case, I like to interview a candidate with his wife. And the reason being is I need her to understand what he's signing up for. Because if she can't be happy, then there's no way in hell I'm going to retain it.
That is a great point, because dealing in refrigeration, it needs to be, completely understood by both.
I'd like to add on to that too.
The first time I got interviewed
Or not.
by my boss was amazing because we spent the entire time talking. He didn't talk a single word at me. He talked to my wife the whole time. And I'm like, is this guy out of his mind?
Right, hitting on her.
Hello, I'm the guy here. Like, over
Did he
here.
have like a pineapple necklace or anything?
I wish.
No,
Hey, Bill.
like Sanders, to be honest. But I mean, we're in the South. I expect a little
Hey,
fierce.
real quick before I forget the point of what you were just talking about, getting a rapport with your technicians and opening the lines of communication. One of the things I've learned since John is sort of come to the fold and gotten above me and taught me some things is I used to be like the type of boss where it was just a hard line in the sand. Like, I'm your boss. That's it. We don't talk about anything personal. It's just all business. And I've started to see like that line is a little bit grayer than it is just simply black and white. Like you can still talk to a guy like, hey man, how's your weekend? What are you doing? Like, how's your kids doing? Stuff like that, actually let them know that hey, you are a person. I do care about your quality of life. I do care if you get home in time. I do care about all these other things. And depending on that technician, obviously you have those technicians that can't seem to separate boss from friends, but you can figure that out just by having a few little conversations with them. So I've learned that really does help open up the lines of communication. It helps with feedback, with discipline, with everything. As long as you can connect on that level, I think it's.
But that is a gray area though too, because especially coming up, I grew up working for my father. My father and I still run the company together. He doesn't work very much anymore in the field. He doesn't work, but I grew up with some of the people that eventually I became their boss. This was years ago, and coming up with someone and then becoming their boss, that was a hard transition because like this, I've had people that were the best man at my wedding, or we used to go out and go drinking together or whatever. And then all of a sudden I became his boss, and I wasn't being an asshole, but there was still a problem there. So it was a hard transition to come.
That's a great point. And like I've told Bill and said this a million times, that's a hell of a point. And it takes a lot of restraint and respect for you to explain to somebody, while we're inside of this imaginary box, that line stops right here. Yeah. Now, after 5 o'clock and you hit the time clock and we step over that line, we have to leave everything that's inside the imaginary box right back there. That means
we can't be friends.
See, John, I struggle with an issue. I hired probably one of my best friends, if he was not my best friend. I was the best man at his wedding. I gave the speech. It was a big deal. I told him I overpaid him from the beginning because he was getting married, and he's like, I'm going to work so hard, blah, blah, blah. All right. Then his attitude started changing, and he started talking to the other employees, and it was like a toxic environment. And he was like, look at all this money we're making at him. What's the point of this? And, like I would try to teach him something. And then when I would walk away, he would tell one of the other guys, I don't get paid enough to learn new things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, win
that battle once he had that first initial amount of disrespect. He was never going to become a respectful person for you. So
it's an infection.
Management either. Like sometimes you have to know when is a failure on management and when it's just a failure on people. And it's a really hard line to differentiate between, because like yourself, there's a guy in Chattanooga that worked for me for 6 years. He still works here. I was the best man at his wedding. I am still his boss. And he knows during business hours, I'm his boss. I've written him up twice. I've sent him home from work for 3 days without pay. Like, it's happened.
Yeah.
That's happened. However, I've explained to him, but between those hours, you have to know that there are rules and expectations. And I've set that bar, and you didn't come in at that bar. You came in so far below it that if I didn't do something about it, everybody else just moves the bar down.
See, right. I think I have a hard time. I've brought this up many times in the past. I have a hard time motivating employees. And I think he was one of them. But the thing is, like, I always make it very clear that you have the potential to make a lot of money. I'm not like one of those guys like where you say like, hey, you're going to make $50 an hour. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody like that, but it's like, I will pay you very well hourly, and I'll give you incentives as well too. All you have to do is put your best foot forward and try a little bit,
Good people and bad people are very dangerous because bad people can spread bad vibes extremely quickly, just as fast as good people can spread good vibes very quickly. You have to preach and manage mostly in between there, and you have to find that balance, and it's tough. But you have to utilize what you have around you, which is find those leaders that want to develop, build and trust in them, and have them help you spread. Because if you share a problem, it's halfway solved.
It's a problem halved.
That's right. You take a whole problem and cut it in half, you're not eating nearly as much. You continue to do that 10 times, and your problem shrinks. And
let me tell you,
cut off the small cells.
From a guy like myself who is mostly stone-faced, unemotional, and monotone.
You? No.
Yes, Joe.
That's a front
Believe
guy.
it or not.
I do that on the phone.
Believe it or not. You know, that's one of the things I've struggled with too, is how to inspire people. And I'm slowly getting better at it. But for me, it's always been like, I feel inspired even when I sound like this.
You
Bueller,
guys all chose this profession for a reason, right? We all found a passion in what we're doing.
You gotta get that passion across.
Right? You have to learn to read people and understand where their passion is and how to get that spark to either reignite or burn brighter. And if you can't get it to reignite, you have to know when you're barking up the wrong tree and let it go. You have to know when it's done.
I guess it's a hard thing to do because like the employee, the workforce pool is small. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
It's hard to. It's not like you could like try out a guy for a couple months, train them, move them forward, and be like, I'm just going to throw another guy in the payroll now, because it's not that easy, really. You know?
Well, it's like Joe just pointed out. Here in the South, my pool is way smaller because, you know, reasons.
Got to get them superheats out them beer cans.
Got to get them other beer cans. And I promise you that's a way to get fired fast.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
We have a lot of things down here, but this is a cutthroat market. So to retain your employees and to find from such a small pool is tough. And you're right. But you have to play to their strengths and weaknesses, which is also another part of management. Man, if management was easy, everybody'd be doing it. You know,
I think that a lot. Something that I have realized, and again, I am nothing. I'm not a great company. I have more failures than I have successes when it comes to business. But I have realized though that you can't treat everybody the same. Everybody, they're all individuals. So when you look at a business and you think of employees, you can't just assume that they're all going to do the same thing. And that's the struggles that I run into, because you want to set up a plan. You want to set up a cookie cutter thing that, okay, every time we do this, this is going to happen, but everybody reacts differently. Everybody needs, they need you to hold their hands. Like, and that's a struggle too, as a business owner, you know, having to hold people's hands in different ways.
That was like, honestly, I thought when I hired Justin the first day, I believe it was the first day he started, I actually was in Wisconsin with a bunch of my friends, you know, and we were out, like me and one of my other good friends, we were out on the boat by ourselves, and it was like 1 o'clock and I didn't hear from Justin one time. And I was nervous. Like, I'm like, what's going on? Like, is everything okay? And I started calling him like, what's the story? Because I'm used to my phone blowing up all the time, you know? So I was very excited about having him work for me, and it didn't work out. But I would like to find a tech that knows what they're doing to be able to like power through the day without all the hand holding. That's like golden, you know?
That is a great feeling.
You try to clone yourself, essentially.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
That's why you set your bar where you want it. You're essentially trying to build clones, right?
Yeah.
That's the end game. If we could all have a game full of A+ techs, I mean, that would be the most unstoppable company on the planet.
I think there's a lot of personality. I want to say manipulation, but not in a bad way. You have to learn to be able to manipulate people's personalities, sometimes in order to get what you want out of them without driving them away and keeping them on point and on the right path that you want them on.
Yeah.
And you also have to have a pliable personality where you can get along with just about anybody.
Absolutely. It's very
and it's tough. Like, there's a lot of being a leader, a boss, a manager, whatever you are, there's a lot of psychology that goes into it. A lot of just different nuances to try to deal with all these people.
And I don't want to completely have a pity party here, but there's also a lot that goes into running a business. There's also a lot that employees don't understand, that they'll never understand. And you'll never be able to convince them of the struggles and the strain and the stress that you go through.
And that's the beauty of it. They don't have to. There's 3 types of leaders out there, and it's up to you to describe to them what you are. There's the leader that leads from behind, and nobody wants to go fight for that guy because he stands at the back of the battlefield and he just shits orders around.
Mm-hmm.
There's the guy that leads from the front. He's leading the vanguard. He's going to run right into the heat of it. He's going to fall on the first sword. Everybody's going to feel real bad at the end of the day. And then there's the guy that leads from the center and listens to everybody around him and helps makes decisions and utilizes other people to carry those decisions outwards.
See, I think that's like what you just said right now. It's like a powerful statement.
And I'm about halfway between the front and the center. I'm probably a little bit more towards the front. So
I agree with
The
you.
hardest part about it, especially from my standpoint, and you have the same thing, is putting your tools down. And
Yeah,
remember,
that's exactly right.
tools are differently than just a 10-in-1 or finding your gauges. You know, I
yeah,
have a go bag sitting in the corner. Any given moment, my guy's calling Chattanooga, and Bill knows this. I'll run out and help you.
Mm-hmm.
So you
8:30 at night, I'll run out and help you. I have your back to the end of the day. But
Yeah, that's one of my biggest problems that I've learned to overcome is when I'm training a guy to not bring my tools. So from now on, when I'm training a guy, most of the time I won't even bring my tools. He brings all his tools. I don't bring a thing.
I want to go through every option before I take my tools and leave the office. I would love to leave this office. I would love to be able to just go out in the field whenever I want and turn a screw. However, I have to know that at the end of the day, if there's nobody here to answer this, I don't have business.
True. Hey, real quick, John, before we move on to segue to the next part of our well-structured program here.
I hope it's ammonia.
No, it's not. Not tonight.
raise, Bill. You know you're going to ask him for the raise. Go ahead and ask him. Ask him.
I think he deserves a raise.
Fired. Are you kidding?
After this, yeah, I'll be
After
lucky.
You're done, Bill.
Like Monday, I'll be like, hey, I don't have any jobs on me today. What's going on?
Go eat
Like,
your
John, you're
heels.
not answering my phone calls no more. Yeah, I'd be lucky if I get a letter from him.
Yeah.
So real quick, I wanted to fire off rapid fire, quick 5 questions that I think would benefit a lot of people. In your opinion, just generalizing, what is a leader, or what is leadership in general? Like, what would you call it? Like if you were to look at a guy and be like, that guy has it. That guy has leadership.
Leadership is the quality to understand, motivate, and proceed forward at all costs at any odd. Knowing that the odds may be stacked against you or in your favor, but understanding that you're not alone and that you can do this as only one way with everyone around you supporting. A true leader knows how small he really is in the big scheme.
That was like the Chicago Bulls in the 90s.
Yeah, Jordan wasn't the leader of the Bulls. He really wasn't.
I'm going to
So
say
who was?
Pistons were pretty good.
I don't remember the coach's name, but at the end of the day,
Phil
play
Jackson.
calling happened without a coach saying yes.
Gotcha.
So
But
what
Jordan just said yes to himself. He made his own.
I'm surprised Joe knows who Michael Jordan is.
When it comes to sports, it's not pop
See?
culture, right?
Bob Seger? No. Michael Jordan? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, so let's talk about core behaviors, like 2 or 3 core behaviors you think like I know we kind of
good.
touched on that, but 2 or 3 like core behaviors, like if you were looking for your next replacement, what are some behaviors you would look for in that replacement? Like, you know what, that guy might have it.
I want to see somebody with determination. I want to see somebody with respect, and I want to see somebody that understands how to be humble.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the hardest thing as a leader is knowing exactly that taking this amount of power doesn't come because you want it. It becomes you have to. Because at the end of the day, somebody's going to lead, and you take the ultimate responsibility and respect of knowing that that's a big burden, and you're going to carry it because you don't want everybody else to have to.
Mm-hmm.
I
can get behind that.
You better.
So what are, let's say somebody wants to learn more about leadership. Got any recommendations, resources, any books, anything you would say, like, check this out if you want to?
It's hard to tell people to, read some books or watch this or watch that. I don't want to give anybody that kind of impression. Really what you need to do is learn from a lot of different leadership, and remember, don't mock it. Don't mimic it. You need to take what you know from it that you're comfortable with and make it your own. You should be taking a lot from a lot. You should be taking a style from here, a style from there, a style from here. And know this, your employees will teach you more about leadership than you will learn from any leader in front of you, period.
Or a book.
Or a book.
I feel like the sort of a mentorship program, just like an HVAC technician would grow in his knowledge. I think a mentorship program.
A big deal. If you find somebody that inspires you or speaks your language, which is really important, if you can learn to speak someone's language and they speak your language, you need to take as much from them as you can, And then once again, make it your own. Don't just rehash it or vomit it back out. You need to take it, learn from it, make it your own, and proceed to grow with it. It should always grow. Never let it sit and get stagnant.
Yes.
Last question. I know it's only 4, but I bet nobody's paying attention really to how many questions I've asked so far.
Nope.
I already forgot.
Well,
Oh, here it is. Why do you think there's a general lack of good leaders in this industry? And that's just my opinion. I feel like there's generally a lack of great or good leadership.
greed. I mean, you want to come down to it. I feel like there's a lot of greed in our industry. A lot of people have forgot that the customer's number one has made the dollar number one. And while I believe we're all in business to support our families and the people underneath us and definitely profit from it, at the end of the day, good leaders forget more that they got in this business because they wanted to help customers. It stopped being about customers at some point. All leaders were good and then got worse. Otherwise, they couldn't have been leaders. There's no such thing as just a terrible leader off the bat. He was made into a terrible leader from something else.
That's a good answer, actually.
You're making me like kind of think about, my
Life
past
in
experience,
general.
me, and like,
It's very philosophical. I did a lot of drugs before I got on the show.
Yeah.
That's true.
well, on that note, who didn't, right?
I mean, y'all didn't leave M&Ms back here, but I did find some mushrooms. It was really magical.
I took a lot of Zoloft.
Oh, for in Canada, they grow in cow crap around September.
You're right. Right.
I have
How do you know
one.
about mushrooms, Joe?
I have,
Sorry.
How do you know about mushrooms, Joe, with your Echo?
No, it's not me.
Oh,
Who is it?
Echo.
I have one question for John here.
What you got?
My question is, if Bill left the company, either was fired or left on his own accord,
He would be
And-
coming to work for
and
me.
another company called you for, like a reference,
oh, that's a tough question already.
how would you move forward with that?
Well, you're going to always be honest. First off, when somebody calls for a reference, you're only allowed to say they're rehireable. That's the legal standpoint. However, if for some reason I was to throw my morals and ethics away and go beyond the legal standpoint, I would be as upfront and honest as possible, because it's not personal. If an employee leaves you, that employee quit you before they quit the company because you lack something in leadership they weren't getting. So
Yep.
honestly, you should feel more bad about yourself than anger about them leaving the company. You should feel bad that you weren't giving them what they needed so much that they were like, I'm out. We'll go get this elsewhere. I'm out.
So what he's saying is unhireable.
He is hireable. However, you have to make him shave. I
Yeah.
need you to understand that's going to get caught in a blower wheel someday. I just hope I'm there.
Yeah, that's why I got to learn how to do the like you do sometimes, the bun. I got to do like a
The bun, I tried to grow a beard and it just all sprouted here.
I don't know how to do a bun though. You like do this and like put it in your mouth.
You're just jealous. It's cool.
You tighten that. I don't know.
If you want to grow a bun, just move to California. There's lots of man buns.
I'm the only guy here that can grow hair.
I can
Yeah.
grow it. It comes back. I just shave it.
I can't.
I shaved my head a week ago.
Years of laziness for this to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you?
Getting it? We're getting the hat? Yes.
So
Hey,
so
Joe's got a
Has
luscious,
hair? What?
luscious locks of hair.
That is already more than I've ever known about Joe, and I've been watching for a while.
Look at that.
True. I don't know that I've ever
Me
seen Joe
too.
without a hat on.
Yes, you have. Stop it,
That is
heels.
so
No, I haven't. I have not.
I've never even seen him without his glasses on.
Where's Joe's brother?
Joe.
Ah,
He's in the chat.
he's actually
Joe-
back in Philly.
Yeah,
Surprise, his name is also Joe, huh?
I had a good time watching Joe's brother half fall asleep on the microphone.
He just came back from a flight. I was telling him to tell you that because these guys are gonna think you're gonna fall asleep here.
We just
But,
assumed he's on drugs.
I just thought he gave him Thorazine. It was a really good time.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
so if nobody didn't understand what happened there, Joe didn't tell us anything. And so we obviously knew that wasn't Joe, but then it
Yes.
was just like, wait, where did this guy come from? Like, what's going on here? And we're
Yeah,
like,
John.
okay, we got to roll with this.
I go, you know what? I'm not gonna screw around with the chat. I'm gonna screw around with these guys as well. So
exactly.
right before they hit the live button, I did the switch.
It's more like, okay, I think that's Joe's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's
And you know what's the thing that's funny is there's a couple guys that are regulars here in the chat. And a couple
Actually,
one text and
Yamo. Yamo.
Yeah,
Joe
even
looks like he's
Yamo.
having a bad day.
He texts me on Gago. He's like, Joe, you look sick. Is everything okay? Oh, and then I didn't answer him, right? Because I was doing the show, and then I get a message after. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, well, you killed
Yeah,
me.
dude was like, hey man, Joe looks beat up. What's going on?
So what do you think? Should we take a couple callers?
Yeah, before we get to that, because I just remember it came to my head, and maybe Adam, you can help me out with this. I think Clive and someone else mentioned in one of the posts how much boiler like a snowmelt will cost. I know it's totally off topic, but I didn't answer it in the text, and I'm just trying to think. I think Adam, you could correct me if I'm wrong as well, but it's the electric is not too much of the cost. It's still the gas. To be honest with you,
Your gas, yeah.
I don't know about you, but we pay about what 15 cents a kilowatt here. And how much kilowatts of like a snowmelt job could it do? Maybe a half a kilowatt. So if you think about it, you're maybe spending $50 a month more. But the gas now, if you think about it, your gas bill a winter, what was your gas bill a winter? Around what? Maybe $1,000?
Me?
Yeah,
$1,000. Well, first off, I don't have snowmelt yet.
But even just a furnace, look how much you pay for gas for a furnace.
Like 100 and something. $1,000. What the heck do you think I'm eating?
Sorry, a year. Sorry,
You live in a school?
Sorry, a year.
A year is still pretty goddamn high.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I mean, the thing is, I guess, like, it really all depends on how big the driveway is, what type of boiler you're using, and then I guess if a customer's asking how much it's going to cost, it's kind of the rule. Like, if you have to ask, you can't afford it, right?
True. Well, true. Well, you know what?
You close your notebook at that point and say, I'm done here, and just walk out.
Well, we had, let's say, a customer, let's say a 100,000 BTU furnace. Let's say you're spending $1,000 a year or whatever it is. When it comes down to snow melt, you're going to be putting another at least $500 for that bill, at least.
The one thing is, it's not like it's heating all the time, right?
No, and that's why you're only paying $500. If not,
Right.
just triple that 100,000 BTUs, and you're paying $1,000.
And there's different
80,000.
There's different.
PSI out there? How big is your meter, man?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, they come in pretty high.
Well,
Not that high though.
Joe works on some like mega mansions, so
Yeah, they're running 2 PSI because their commercial kitchens in the center already have 500 BTU loads in there.
I mean, some of these customers. He showed us one house that they had a car wash in their basement.
Yeah, it's kind of common. Well, sorry.
You went to my house?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Even if you look at the huge dehumidification systems, 6 horsepower, whatever it is, you're spending at least 6 kilowatts for the season all year round, and that's a lot of money that's being spent, right?
We call them heat pumps.
Yeah, that's what they are. Heat pumps, really. Just
we call them heat pumps. You just throw a heat pump right in front of your air conditioner, and just there, you're good.
Yeah, warm it up that way, right?
Run it backwards all year.
Yeah, you're right. Backwards all year, exactly, right in front of the air conditioning.
What is this? What is this snow melt crap? Why do y'all need to melt snow?
Let me tell you something, Chris. When you wake up and there's like 1.5 feet of snow in your driveway, and you have like a 50-foot or longer driveway, and you can't leave until you shovel or snow blow. If you have the money to put in snow melt, a lot of people are like, "Let's put in."
You know what we say here in the South? Fuck it, we just closed the city.
Yeah, right.
When we get the tiniest bit of snow in our local, like in the area I used to live in, they just shut it down. Like we shut down the road for 3 weeks, for 3 days.
Brian.
Yeah. And we don't do.
I have to admit, in the city, we're pretty good with cleaning snow. I gotta admit.
Get out my old 1971 Volkswagen Beetle, and I laugh at all these rednecks and their 4-wheelers. This mother trucker's built for it.
They're big old trucks and whatnot.
Yeah. You want me to pull that Jeep out for you? I got you.
Yeah, right. So, sorry to put off topic, guys. It just came to my head. I just wanted to clarify that. The electricity is not much. It's just a gas consumption. It's just, yeah.
All right, ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not going to put the number directly on the screen. Is this the correct number? It's going to ring now. I know it's going to ring now. Everyone's going to hear it. I don't know why.
If the person we don't want to talk to, we're going to hang up on you. So just plain and simple.
Hold on.
Yep.
Let me try to figure out how to
Right up on
turn
you.
all this off.
We'll laugh in your face and we'll make fun of you when we're done.
Where's
Move
the...
Because we are nice guys, but we also are not.
Just know if you're going to ask, no, they didn't give me any M&Ms in the back.
So we're going to have John quiz you because we want somebody that knows HVAC. So you're going to have to answer 2 to 3 basic questions.
Totally off the cuff.
So this is the giveaway then.
Why not?
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
All right.
first I've
There it
heard
is.
We're asking basic questions.
Yeah, we want to verify that the
That's
person
their
that calls
HVAC
in is an HVAC person because we're going to give them a new Field Piece S-Man 380V.
So you just need to ask them a question just to verify that they're somewhat of a tech. It doesn't need to be a crazy technical,
Oh, you just took the fun out of it.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure,
nothing too crazy.
I mean, we just want to make sure that the person is an HVAC. The phone number is in the chat, 224-366-7725.
So what do they just call in and then we just ask them like 3 questions?
Why are you guys making it so hard?
I don't know.
Not
This
that
I
hard.
think we just ask one medium-sized question.
Yeah.
one question.
Pizza
Just go
Hut.
for it.
We have our first caller. Oh, wait.
Hang up.
Now it's blowing up.
if it's Ricky, hang on him.
Somebody's
Oh,
on.
it's gonna be Ricky.
Hello?
First one's gonna be Rookie.
Hello.
That doesn't sound like Rookie.
Who is this? This is not Rookie.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Chris. I'm here in Orlando.
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Chris, this
If
is
that's
Chris.
your real name.
How are you doing, Chris?
Not bad, not bad.
This Chris likes heels.
All right, Chris. How long have you been doing HVAC?
I dabble in it for a couple of years now.
Dabble?
Dabble?
Yeah.
I've never dabbled in
Unofficial.
HVAC. I was like full time, like boom. I was in it. I was born into
In
it.
it to win it.
I was born and all my knowledge of HVAC was
All right.
downloaded directly into my brain.
All right, we need one medium question to make sure that Mr. Chris is worthy of the.
Residential or commercial? Because I didn't really do residential.
Just basic.
Basic, yeah.
Yeah,
Basic.
just basic.
That could relate to both.
And you have how long? 10 seconds, so Mr. Google doesn't help him out.
I won't use this.
Well,
I
no.
won't use Bing.
Explain basic superheat.
What's that?
Explain basic superheat.
The superheat is the. I get them confused between that and the subcooling.
I think we're gonna have to say fail. Sorry.
Hang up.
Sorry
before
about
you-
that.
Try again next time. Let's move on to the next.
Thanks, bud, for
All
calling.
right.
And it may be that it was just a hard question to grasp. That's cool. It's okay. It doesn't. We're not making fun of you or
We
anything.
just want to
but-
make sure that we don't have a carpenter calling.
Yeah.
Karen
Huh?
Or a hobo.
or a
All right. Next caller. Hold on. How do I do this? Let me post the number again. Paste. Boom.
I don't think you needed to post the number. I think they had it. but-
224-366-7725.
Hey guys, do me a favor while we're waiting for a caller. Smash the thumbs up button. Really does help the stream.
Hey, did we get over 100 likes yet? See if we do. I'm going to give away one of my
I just got like 37 voicemails.
CHG hats.
No, we have not. We're at
Nobody's
60.
calling. Nobody wants to.
60. We don't have over 100 likes yet.
Let's bump this. We got to get these rookie numbers up. And I'm getting text messages and 140 voicemails, but nobody's calling right now. They all gave up.
We had one phone call. And we,
And gave up on him.
we shut
the
it
phone
right down.
All right. Come on, people.
All right. Well, we'll keep talking. So
Yeah.
Come on. It says, is the phone number not working or
Chris, what's the worst experience you ever had disciplining a technician?
John with the save.
disciplining a technician, I'd say kind of like our conversation we had, or we were kind of talking about it earlier. I just had,
The guy once.
I wouldn't say disciplining, but I've ran into problems with technicians that were my friends that it was hard to get past that. They still wanted to be my friend and they wanted to disrespect me. And And that was a very awkward conversation that I had to have with him when we pulled him in the office. And it was like, look, something's got to change here. Yeah, we're friends. Yeah, we used to do this. Yeah, and we still can do this, but we're going to have to either decide, like, if we can't be friends anymore, then that's fine. But, I still got to be your boss. It was awkward more than anything, was having to have that first conversation. What about you? What was the most awkward thing or strange disciplinary action you had to take?
Explaining to a technician that screaming at a customer is not ever going to happen on anyone's watch ever again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a common sense thing. Like as a leader, and I have to be careful. And I will say too, that an employee got very angry with me when I told him one time. I said, in our discussion, I was like, look, bro, this is common sense. And he got mad. And it's common sense to you, but not to me. And it's like, what do
you think common sense means?
Was that the customer got aggressive with them first.
Yeah.
I explained to him. I was like,
walk away then.
Walk away, home. You don't have to stand there.
No.
Like at any point,
I will stab you right in the face.
I can't back you up anymore.
Yeah.
Soldering iron.
Whoops. Someone just
I've had customers, and I've had an interaction with one of my employees, and he did good on this. He called me, and my employee was visually or verbally shaken. I could tell on the phone, and he goes, "Hey, dude," he goes, "You got to get over here right now." And I go, "What's going on?" And he goes, I need you here now." And I knew something was wrong, So I went to the site, and it was the same thing. He had a cook that was just losing his mind, throwing kitchen utensils across the kitchen, and he was pissed at my employee, and the manager wasn't even involved. And so my employee walked away from the situation, and then called me.
This is the Man Cow Show.
Well,
how you doing?
Hold on.
Hey,
Okay.
All right. Who is this?
Say words.
it's Joe Fiducioso.
Oh, hey, Joe. How you
How's it
doing,
going, guys?
Brother?
How's it going?
We're doing the reverse giveaway because I had 47 voicemails and the phone's not working for some reason because it just keeps beeping. So I just started calling the people that were leaving voicemails.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, what were you calling people?
The wrong number and you got some chick. So I was like, you're not the people who I expected.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
We should just call random people.
Chick?
Sounded
Adam,
hot.
you have a chick voicemail on your
He
phone?
sounded
I don't
Do
know.
I sound hot?
I don't know what's going on with this phone. We have to experiment with new phones. Maybe that's why other shows use a separate phone and not Google Voice.
So, Joe, how long have you been in the industry?
I was second generation. I've been doing, like that guy said, dipping and dabbling since the age of 12. I'm 36 now, but I've been in all aspects. I've worked for Johnstone, R.E. Michael Company. I've been in new construction. I've been residential, a little bit of commercial here and there, a little bit of industrial.
Wow.
Right now, I'm a lead tech at a company here in Colorado Springs.
Okay. What kind of stuff? Are you commercial or residential right now?
We're strictly residential right now. They're trying to get me to break into commercial. I told them they're going to have to offer me a lot more money than what they're giving me, and they said no. So as of October, I work for Lennox.
Oh, okay. Well,
I have a couple of friends that actually work for Linux.
That's got to be
very
hard.
interested in breaking into it.
So what type of equipment does your company install?
Well, we ain't installing any right now because of the shortage, but typically Rheem, Lennox, Amana.
What were some of the problems? Again, we're just trying to kind of gauge a little bit of an idea, and it sounds like you're doing really good with your answers and stuff. But
Yeah.
when it comes to the shortage right now, that's definitely, and we're even seeing that a little bit on the commercial side. I'm starting to see, I need a evaporator coil or an air handler, and it's got to be custom made by the factory. And it's like, nobody has this in stock, but
3-month lead time on most commercial air conditioners to be delivered.
yeah. Luckily, I work with a lot of chain restaurants, so they have the national accounts. So they put national accounts in front of everybody else. So I'm not selling them the equipment, but we're getting it. But anyways,
So Ted has a question for him.
okay, go ahead, Ted.
Hold on. Got to hang up on that guy. All right. Sorry. All right. Question is.
Did we just hang up on the guy that was gonna try to win it?
No, he's still here,
No.
right?
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
All right. So the question is, a few years back, several years back, why did every manufacturer have TXV issues?
Well, that's a pretty good question.
It
Actually.
was due to an oil additive that Copeland, they had, I think it was in Brazil. I'm not 100% where it originated from, but they basically added something that had an adverse effect with the materials used in the TXV construction, and boom, it just kept gunking up. I had good luck with the Renew, massaging the valve, allowing that to do its thing. I think it was like an 80% rate. We had success.
Well, I got to tell you something. I think you did good.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
was waiting for you to push a button or something.
I was
know, me
trying,
too.
but I was
Like,
on the wrong
you know
side,
what?
and it's
Just
like,
forget it. I lost hope. I lost hope.
You know, in
there
that
you go.
whole-
That's a magical.
Actually sent out a bulletin that said like one of their fixes for the problem itself was to actually use AC Renew, and they would warranty it or Supco 88 as your
And
prep.
on a side note, I just wanted to say that Joe also really likes massaging valves.
Massage guns. Yeah, man, that's the best tool I've ever bought for myself. But no, massaging valves, you can keep that, bro.
So
Sorry about that, Joe.
that's awesome, Joe. So make sure you send an email to HVACOvertime@gmail.com.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, bud.
Correct, bro. I appreciate it.
Good job,
Oh,
buddy.
I'm waiting on my hat. It's delayed, Chris. I support who I follow. So I ordered a hat from you, and I was hoping it was here when I got home, but
Wait a
checking
minute, I don't sell
USPS.
hats. I don't sell hats. What are you talking about?
He's talking about
You talking about me? I didn't hear the part. Did you say who'd you order a hat from?
Correct.
Yeah. Of course,
Oh,
Chris.
Oh,
I've been
Chris.
following him for years.
Depending on when you ordered it, my wife took the well. You should have. My wife took the
Like
last.
the Justin Bieber of our show.
I watched that video where he shamelessly promoted that hat. He showed the one that he had after a year and said, "Look
Yep.
how dirty it wasn't."
Oh,
And he
you
showed
mean every video over the last 3 months?
Yeah,
Yep.
and I was like, "Look at the black bill." Oh,
Yeah.
the black bill.
that was
Black
nice.
Bill. That's exactly it. I want,
That's racist.
but thank you for the support, Joe. Appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, we see
Thanks,
him around.
guys.
He's a regular. I knew I was rooting for him.
Yeah.
and I'm glad.
So I wanted to
Well,
touch on the whole Supco 88 thing. So I have such a hard time with the additives, and I've always been a little bit back and forth about whether or not. Now, to preface this, I will say that for almost my entire career, I used acid scavenger as an additive that you added to the system after a burnout, and I personally never had a problem with it. But
Me either.
in the last 5 years, maybe 3, I've kind of gone away from using any additives.
Give me 2 seconds.
And what's
Well-
interesting is I heard a conversation with John Pastorello, and you know what? I shouldn't say it was him. I don't think it was him. But for some reason, I thought it was him. That basically said Supco 88 is just kerosene.
All right, so you're somewhat right.
Yeah,
AC Renew
nasty.
Yeah.
leaves a nice residue. I'm gonna do this and regret it later, but that's okay.
You gonna put it in your hair?
No,
Oh yeah, that's the thick, oily substance.
as
Yeah.
you can see how viscous it is.
Yeah.
It is supposed to break down the detergent that they put in that PAG and POE oil.
Right.
Causing all those TXV springs to get clogged. However, the problem with it is this has only been in there for like a couple of days, and you can see it gets thicker and thicker until
Yep.
it finally congeals. Now, imagine applying the kind of discharge temperatures and heat on a compressor.
Yuck.
Yeah.
You're already getting your oil at what, around 172, 160 degrees? If you get it at 185, the oil starts to break down and burn up. This
Oh,
stuff
so
will actually start burning up long before that 180 degrees.
So it just starts thicker.
That's the problem with this stuff. Now,
Have you had issues with it, John? Like issues with systems you've added it to?
like he said, it has a higher success rate than Supco. However, like 80% is probably an accurate number. Out of every 10 I put it in, maybe 2 or 3 of them won't survive it. But to be fair, we don't know how much damage it took from the TXV. If the TXV isn't
Now,
cooling my compressor properly, how can I expect that system to ever run?
Yeah.
No,
And you know what's funny?
So-
We have we're a trained distributor state, not a trained factory direct state. So I was selling Train at the time when we had all these issues. And what they told us is to use AC Renew, add it to the system, let it run for a few days, and then come back and check the pressures. Okay. I was talking to Anti-DIY HVAC, Mr. Ted Cook, the great sponsor of the show.
And we gotta say thanks for the S, man, because that was from Ted.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ted.
Yes, I've been posting his link in chat. Him and Big Clive.
Anyway, so Ted told me that you don't just add the AC Renew. The best way to do it, which I tried it, I've never had success prior to trying what Ted told me to do, and it worked beautifully the first time. He said, run the air conditioning, run the air conditioning for 10 minutes. And then if you have a heat pump, run the heat for 10 minutes. If you don't have a heat pump, use like a heat gun on the TXV, try to warm it up. So you're moving the valve open and closed. Do that 3 or 4 times, check your pressures. And that should help.
So we did it with hot water. You take the bulb and put it in hot water and pull it back out. And he's right. However, on some of those trains, they had the distributor header setups in them, right? And a lot of those were what was getting gummed up the most was because, you were just getting half of them and you'd see the frost line. And what we were doing is getting those old school metal heat guns, the ones that'll literally melt your skin off. And we would take them and run them over the ends of them and melt that out of it and then shut it down and then turn it back on and melt them again. And eventually it would run beautifully. Some TXVs would lock down. But what we didn't have as a problem was TXVs failing. We had compressors failing. And that was what we were seeing, not the TXV failing out, but you can't really blame it on AC Renew. We don't know how much damage the compressor had already taken from not being cooled off.
Well, AC Renew has been a product for a long time. Prior to it being called AC Renew, it was called Zero Ice or Zero Ice.
Zero Ice, yeah. And when it was Zero Ice, though, when it first started as Zero Ice, there was traveling snake salesman kind of people traveling around saying they would put this in the systems, and you would see 70% efficiency after, and there's a couple different companies that still do.
I know that guy. Isn't that the same guy that tried to give me a case of Easy Seal?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And I don't know if you heard, but I was saying before, and I can't remember who said this. It might have been John Pestarello. It might have been someone else, but someone had Subco 88 analyzed, and they said it was just kerosene. So that's an interesting thing to think about that. And then you smell it next time, and then think about
it doesn't smell like it.
It has like a fruity smell, though, like not like kerosene. But I was told
it smells like silly putty.
You guys ever hear the old that old way of fixing like broken radiators? Just put an egg in it.
Never.
No.
You got a cracked radiator.
I thought I was in the South.
Yeah. I'm part hillbilly. I don't know if you noticed, but
what was?
I'm part hillbilly. Yeah, one of the things was you just put an egg in the radiator.
From ZZ Top, it's okay.
Yeah,
so that's what I've been doing to fix leaks. Just so you know, John.
I have
put eggs in there.
Yeah, but I use the Easy Seal injector. Just crack a couple of eggs and I inject it right in there.
And wait a minute. The key question was: were you selling it as Easy Seal and making a big profit, saying that it was just eggs?
Don't tell New Calgon.
Yeah. Oh man.
We were getting money for it. They were giving us, I think it was like the Easy Seal and labor. Yeah, I watch you guys every Friday that I can.
I thought literally I was hearing voices in my head.
They actually were paying under warranty to have that AC Renew or anything put in there to cure their problem because it was cheaper than a recall.
Yeah, I was going to say, because ironically, in the beginning, they were voiding warranties because of that crap. And then they were peddling it because they were like, we just need anything to save. But that was just a blaming game, because in the beginning, it was everybody was going after Carrier and the manufacturers. And then Carrier eventually was pushed. They were trying to be like careful. And then they tried going after Sporlan, and Sporlan was like, this isn't our problem. Then they finally figured out, in the beginning, it was such a nightmare. And then Copeland was so like hush hush about finally coming out with a press release saying it was a rust additive or whatever.
There was right afterwards, there was a compressor that followed up behind that problem that they had a huge issue in, that they put in their refrigeration systems, and they thought they were going to cure it with the same problem. I remember they were like, throw some AC Renew in your refrigeration system. Went, no.
Yeah.
No.
But
So Lennox now puts, I think it's a different compressor in their stuff, and I think all this stemmed from that being that going down. I got contacted by ADP because we had so many valves warranted, and they're like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I have no idea." Well, we just need you to put a piston in it for the time being, and we need you to send these valves back, and we'd like to do this. And yeah, there was a big study that was done when all that first came out. And it honestly got ridiculous. We were putting in 3 to 5 systems a day, and that came to a halt when they're like, "Oh, this TXV's gunked up. This TXV's gunked up. Just put a piston in. We can't keep the TXVs in stock." So it was just piston, charged via superheat.
wow. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, bud. Thanks for calling in. And
thanks,
make
Joel.
sure you send the email to HVACOvertime@gmail.com, and we'll get that sent out to you. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Cool. Thanks,
Thank
bud.
you.
All right. Bye.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now there's AC Renew all over my desk.
Yeah. That's not like a problem. So no, I've not, I don't think I've ever used, no, I might've used AC Renew once. And I think to try to clear up, I think a last ditch effort to try to clear fixed orifice on a carrier package unit, and of course it doesn't work.
I wanted to try it on a train package unit that I had. I think 5 of the, I don't know, 7 or 9 orifices were plugged up from what I could tell. And Family Dollar at the time didn't want to pay to put a evaporator in it. So I was like, well, I can try this. Might work. I was really, really wanting to try that.
You want to touch fingers, Adam, or what? You want to touch fingers with me?
I was pointing towards the chat. I was trying to think of which way it is. Wait, is it down
Hey,
if
quick
you're on your
question.
phone? But
Right.
the winner
Before
from
we
last
wrap
week
up.
is here. Sorry, go ahead.
Has anybody seen the refrigerant jugs without the paint on them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
Adam.
those now. They're popping up all over here.
Mhm.
I've got a whole mess of them back here, and now it was just 410. Now it's 404, 410, and 421.
And,
It's all
and I have to
It's
say
gonna
that even the
So-
404 label is rubbing off. It's already rubbing off, and it's like,
Oh wow.
I label them when I get them. I
Let me tell you. You know what I've
you have to.
you know what I've done. I know this sounds stupid. Yeah, I bought different color spray paint just to put a dot.
We've been spray painting the tops of them because, and somebody was like, "Well, surely to God," I was like, "Surely you don't know technicians well enough to know that they're looking for a color, not a name. Don't
Yeah.
put anything past anyone. We're all human. We make a mistake."
So
It's
you're
a
telling me that's not a universal refrigerant that you can use in everything? Like
I
I've been.
thought it was R12. I was selling it on eBay for like $500 a jug.
I
and
mean, nobody's gonna know.
Someone asked me in one of my videos the other day. They're like, "Hey, is that a jug of R12?" And it's like, "No, that was 404."
Yeah. And you know what? You know what else I started doing is the reclaim tanks. Put a dot on there too, so you mix those up when you're.
And now my
What color?
the reclaim tanks are so different because I'm in refrigeration. Mine get
Ah.
swapped out after every use.
Where do you get
So,
those fancy stickers?
we were having that discussion
Versatech.
before. Yeah,
Where?
Versatech.
Tech makes the
Ah.
old ones, but you can't get them for the new refrigerants. So
No,
Yeah,
they
but-
make these instead. Which
I think spray paint's probably a better way to go, though. I mean,
Yeah, I just spray paint's easy. You just put a dot on it. Then you gotta
Yeah.
like write down and use a pen.
I have a paint pen. I literally will paint pen everything on there. But like Chris was saying, I work in refrigeration. 9 out of 10 times when I'm reclaiming, I've already filled the drum. Matter of fact, it's in ice water. That 80% went out the window. I'm like,
No
80%.
kidding.
Oh, yeah. Here, hey, you're going to want to stand back if it gets really
yeah,
Don't
Hey,
touch
Tony,
it hard.
in your van
Oh,
overnight.
it is hot.
So, but here we have to abide by the 80% because when it's 100 degrees outside and you throw it in your van and someone just leaves it in their van, they're going to come back with an empty tank later.
This
One
is
of their doors
later
blown
about
off.
great
And
story.
more.
Nine.
Our distributors.
I would literally run them right back to the refrigerant houses and be like, here.
Our distributors actually will weigh them. You know,
Yeah.
when you're turning them in to make sure they're the proper weight.
Mine started after they were breaking their backs picking them up. They were like, I'm pretty sure that this is not 27 pounds.
Mhm.
Sure, you're right.
Yeah.
Just take that water charge and double it.
I had
Um,
one account that was testing refrigerants for us before they take them back because they didn't want mixed refrigerants. And I said, well, how are you guys testing that? Like, what are you doing? Do you have the machine in the back and you're taking a reclaim and find out your percentages? Just understand this, guys. when I put 404 in there, it's already not going to show up as 404 because I reclaimed it. It had a leak.
Yeah,
At some
exactly.
point, this refrigerant has changed so much that you don't really know what I have. So quit trying to charge me an extra $200 and just eat it.
Clive was saying in chat that the fire extinguishers in the UK all went one color. You know how they have different ones for, electrical, or over here they do.
Yeah.
Water,
Red, silver.
all one color in UK. Same. Crazy.
So I wonder in the UK then if they all do the exact same thing. They can all just put out electrical or oil fires or chemical fires. Or you gotta, like, in the middle of a fire, you gotta read it, and you're like, hold on, let me see if I got the right fire.
Do I got my reading glasses on?
Yeah.
That's why I like it, a commercial kitchen. You say, where's the big silver one? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're on fire, but I got to make sure I got the right one here. No, I knew I should have spray painted this thing. That's amazing. Amazingly dangerous.
All right, guys. Well, I think we should wrap this up.
Yeah.
I think it was a good show. I think we had really good conversation going on, and I think that seems like the chat liked it too because they were pretty active inside there. So
it was a good time. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Appreciate you coming on, John.
Yeah.
It's been really fun. Once again, I'm stuck in this little office with nothing but Bill, so I don't get good conversation.
You get conversations like this.
Right. This is nice to be able to have this kind of a conversation. I really appreciate y'all having me.
With people with emotion in their voices.
I'll be back. You feel free to yell. I'll come.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll definitely take advantage of that again too. And
we'll have to discuss that. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe, right, Bill?
No, it was honestly a great time. I mean, I'm privy to these types of conversations all the time. I just felt like, this is something that I feel should be talked about more, should be shared with the world a lot more. So I'm like, hell, let's bring him on. Let's see if we can get something accomplished. Let's see if we can inspire the world.
Let's
one
do
Friday night at a time.
I wonder how that went.
Inspire the world. Can we sing a song like the whole "We Are the World"?
Let's all hold hands.
Yeah.
I say if you get 100 likes, I'm more than happy to
okay. So we just go like this. We're all holding hands.
No, we can't hold hands. COVID, guys. Guys, come on.
Yeah. Hold hands, guys.
I got
Bill, come on.
6 foot. I got my 6 foot.
Yeah.
See. Well, you think they had enough of us for 1 week?
Yeah, let's end it. Appreciate it. We did hit 100 likes. So cool.
We have to
we
say
did hit 100 likes?
We hit it right now.
Oh, well, snap.
Fantastic.
I'm going to give away a hat. Let's see. I'm just going to randomly pick some people out of the chat here.
Never ever give anybody your word and not back it up. So I just sang a bar. I'm good.
All right, right here. Doug Brown. If you're listening, Doug Brown, send me an email with your address, curioushvacguy@gmail.com. Doug Brown. If you're not listening, then I guess you missed out, man.
All right.
Randy Ravioli.
Luke, if you're listening, don't forget, bark twice.
Play us out.
That's your part.
Yeah.
Why does that always take like 4 minutes?
He already barked. I thought the bark was
sorry.
over. Everyone's happy. We did it. It was fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Cue up the outro music.
Hey, thanks, Chris. Now I know why you say it and you call it out.
Fire up the beats.
Yep. Cue up.
I'm gonna play the outro music. Adam, that's your cue.
hold on, guys. I'm gonna see if
works.
I'm gonna turn this. Let me see if I can cue up the.
What? Because his boss is here, we're having a good chat. You know, it's pretty cool, laid back. He doesn't put an encore for us. You know, I don't get it.
Yeah, let's bring it back. Let's do an encore. No.
It's already over.
I'm stoked that you guys got 100 likes though. That's
That's pretty cool.
I didn't
Awesome
expect
community.
it.
I think it's rather humorous. I still had some AC Renew sitting on the shelf.
I gotta go find a hat.
Funny.
now.
I got the vile stupid thing sitting in my garage. One time.
I said, how do you put in your AC Renew? They're like, oh, well, you have to buy this. There you go.
Hey, John, you guys got text in Knoxville?
We're
What's
back.
You got
He's
text in
got it back
Knoxville,
on.
John?
Yeah, I did have text up in Knoxville.
I'm keeping tabs on Adam, so we're back.
So we're back.
Why'd you
Back
just
on
put-
right now. See, I know better now. I'm like watching on my other phones.
He's
Like,
quiet,
okay,
that guy. He's quiet over there.
You guys told you said push the button again. Push the button again.
yeah.
Push what button?
Mhm.
At least I didn't
Mhm.
talk about sleeping with my sister. So
Yeah, that's
Well, we'll save that for the next week's stream.
Yeah.
okay.
How do I sign up for that? I only have softball pitches back here.
Hey, we got
Oh,
people.
I want that.
Hey, John, we got people in the chat trying to get a job from you already.
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. They're all
You have
they're
already
asking all
inspired
kinds.
people.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I am more than happy. I'm here in Chattanooga. We have a big sign on the road. Come find me.
There you go. Look for the
Hey.
big sign in Chattanooga. Can't
He's
miss
in the,
What does it say?
it. I don't know.
It says, John the Great, world's best HVAC tech,
Mhm.
funded
I think
by.
he wants a job, guys. I think he wants a job here.
I told him to email the resume to me.
That's Adam's department.
No, he wants a job working for you.
For me,
Yeah.
like, did you not warn him, Bill?
Not yet.
I
I like to watch people like get into the water and then drown.
It's nice to watch you squirm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Like everybody thinks you're all cool and laid back over here. But yeah, wait till Monday morning until he calls you first thing in the morning, swearing at you and cussing you and like threatening to cut you a little bit.
now I tell everybody there's no such thing as an argument. We have passionate discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It is okay to have a passionate discussion so long as we're treated as equals.
I forget what we were talking about, but remember we were having, I wouldn't even call it a heated discussion, but we were having a in-depth discussion and I stopped you and I asked politely, does it sound like I'm arguing with you?
Yeah, actually, I do remember that. And I
Yeah.
said, Bill, it sounds like you're arguing with everybody all the time because nobody can differentiate your tones.
True. It's true.
It is literally the xylophone with one bar.
This is how I sound when I get birthday presents.
You know what? At least you don't have to worry about him raising his voice with clients or customers, right?
Yeah.
There's
he
a
raised
few
his voice
things
at me. No, he didn't.
I get a little extra monotone for a few subjects. Like I'll get fired up about a few things.
The first thing I did when I came to be over Bill's area and all that area, it's funny you say it. I sent out an email, and the email did nothing but set the bars of what I did as a tech and said, these are my expectations. If I can commit to this for the last 14 years, I don't see anything in here you can't do. Like, set that bar up. And he was like, you expect people to read? God damn it. You just nailed it.
Mhm.
You already beat down my one